All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem ChakWadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Shalom, salutations to the hopeful elect that's fighting the good fight of faith and truth, in sincerity and wholeheartedly. Shalom to the Akwath, which is the women believers. Shalom unto you. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Now, what this woman is saying is just cold hard facts, and she's not using the scriptures. But that's why this scripture right here. So it says, for we can do nothing against the truth before the truth. So everything that this woman is saying is a fact. And Yahweh Shai said it best. But I'm going to let her cook. We're probably going to watch it twice. It's only like a 36-second clip. But it's very, very important. One thing that you need to understand. This truth is exclusively for you. All right. So yeah, if your family can't get on board, it is what it is. But
people always look at me like I'm crazy. I don't have a problem detaching from DNA. Mother, sister, father, brother, if we don't gel, we don't gel. There's this misconception that just because we're family, that we have to overlook and allow people to emotionally, physically, sexually, mentally abuse us because we share DNA. And let me tell you, as a life coach, as a person, I know that is not true. And you don't have to suffer with people, even your own children. You don't have to suffer with people who don't make you feel good just because we have the same DNA. And be clear that there's a difference between relatives and family.
There's a difference between relatives and family. All of us that is in the body of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, that's the true family. Just because you share blood with somebody, that don't make you family. Now, obviously, literally, yes. But, everything is spiritual before it's physical. So, yeah, Yahweh Shai said this best. So, yeah, as you see, she ain't used no scripture. I just thought when I seen this, I was like, this could be edifying because everything she's saying is a fact. She ain't say nothing wrong. I know people literally who's going to lose their salvation because of family. I had people over the years talking about, oh yeah, the reason I celebrate Christmas is I know Christmas ain't about, Jesus and stuff, but that's just when our family get together and, we just give each other gifts, just family thing. So they always have a justification. You got some that be like, oh yeah, the only reason I do this because of the children. When it comes to Halloween and shit. So yeah. While he yet talked to the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him. Then one said unto him, behold, your mother and your brethren stand without, desiring to speak with you. But he answered and said unto him that told him, who is my mother, who are my brethren? So his physical family, his brothers and Mary, who he came out of, was desiring to speak to him. And this is what he said. And he stretched forth his hand towards his disciples and said, behold, my mother and my brethren. For whosoever should do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same as my brother and sister and mother. Okay? So that's what people don't understand. See, people get offended when we talk like this, when we explain things like this. Your own family, okay, will get offended when you don't do the things that you used to do. And you tell them why. See, both of my parents, they went back to the spirit world. All right, they back with the Father. But I didn't get a chance to tell my mom about the truth because guess what? I wasn't in the truth when she died. I told my dad about it, but he ain't really care for it, But the thing is, he knew that I didn't celebrate holidays. I didn't eat certain foods and things like that. He always used to be like, oh, come on, but you grew up on this, blah, 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 But hopefully the Lord have mercy upon my parents. That's all we could do is pray for our family, but it ain't up to us. But yeah, so the point is that your real family is those who are in the body of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let her cook again, but before that, I want to get this, because you have to understand that this truth is exclusively for you. Oh, I forgot. I missed my other app, man. This guy. So it says, but understand thou for yourself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. For unto you is paradise open, the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared, plenteousness is made ready, a city is built, rest is allowed, yeah, perfect goodness and wisdom. The root of evil is sealed up from you. Didn't say from you and your family. Now, what do First Corinthians 11 go into? Talking about how the believing husband can sanctify the unbelieving wife. That's still not guaranteed. Because I always make this example. What if your wife is committing adultery behind your back? You not the Most High. You don't know what she do. All right. But yeah, the Lord can have mercy upon your family now. And that's your intermediate family. The one that's in your household before anybody else. So anyways, it said the root of evil is sealed from you. Weakness and the moth is hid from you. Corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past. In the end is showed the treasures of immortality. And therefore, ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish. So this is the mindset that you got to have.
And people always look at me like I'm crazy. I don't have a problem detaching from DNA. Mother, sister, father, brother, if we don't gel, we don't gel. There's this misconception that just because we're family, that we have to overlook and allow people to emotionally, physically, sexually, mentally abuse us because we share DNA. And let me tell you, as a life coach, as a person, I know that is not true. And you don't have to suffer with people, even your own children. You don't have to suffer with people who don't make you feel good just because we have the same DNA. And be clear that there's a difference between relatives and family.
And that's a fact. So it says, whosoever do not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of 10... Oh, matter of fact, I got to start from 26. If any man come to me and hate not his father, mother, wife, children, and brethren, sisters, yet his own life cannot be my disciple. Do you understand that? And it's not hard to do, especially when you have 100% understanding. Everything in this world is temporary. And then, like I always say, I probably don't say it in the videos, but when I'm around the brothers, whoever you lose on this side, you're going to get them back. And guess what? When you get them back, you're actually going to be able to have joy of them. You don't have joy of your woman. You don't have joy of your children in this world. It's too many things that stop you from that. This is a wicked rulership. The woman, she rules over you. Your children rules over you. You don't have really authority over your woman and your children. Okay? So the time that we're talking about is in the kingdom of heaven where we're all perfect. So you'll be able to have joy of your children, your women, and things like that. So whosoever do not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you intended to build a tower, sit him now down first and count up the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it. That's when the understanding have to come in. That's when you got to understand what you are part of. You got to really look at the landscape of this. Now, the Lord is very merciful. Some of us do have, women and children. But that's really for the most that you have. Some have women and children and maybe their parents are still here and they still deal with them on some type of level. Because when the scriptures talks about hate, it's a strong dislike. I'm not talking about, because the scripture says honor your father, and the law said honor your father and your mother. So how can the scriptures contradict each other when it say hate? Let's talk about a strong dislike. You stand for something they don't. You hate what they stand for, but you still respect them. You still be cordial with them. The scripture said be be at peace with all men if possible. So if it's possible, you be at peace with them. Okay? But yeah, when it comes to Christmas, you ain't showing up. All right? If they cook lawful food on Thanksgiving, you might come get a plate. But the festivities, I don't think about that. Okay? I don't know about that, cuz. But for real though. But yeah, so it's just things like that. We ain't celebrating no Easter, you know. They still do that stuff though. We ain't celebrating no Christmas. They still do that stuff though. You still love them, but you hate their ways. All right. So I'm gonna end it on this. So the real family, as we started out with, the ones who do the will of the Lord, that's your family. And this scripture right here is bearing your cross right here. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration. Re means again. Okay? When you come back in your lot, we in the time, baby. We here. When the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, you also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Everyone that have forsaken houses, brethren, sisters, fathers, mothers, wife, children, or lands for my sake, shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Okay? So yeah, there is a reward. And you have to understand, okay? Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, but in all thy getting, get understanding. That's Proverbs 4:7. So you got to understand. The scripture says, ask no more questions concerning the multitude that perish. There's already people slated for death, and there's people slated for salvation. You want to be on that side. So hopefully this was a edifying video, you know, and all praises to Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. Seek ye out the Lord while he may be found. And Shalom.